can rest your hands in your lap or any place that's comfortable. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine as that string of pearls of light. Goes from the very base, the coccyx, all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Make sure your head is very nicely well balanced on top of your shoulders. Not so interesting, that expression that we had when we were kids. I don't know if you guys had it. Keep your head on your shoulders. Because if your head's not on your shoulders, you're not going to be balanced. I mean, you literally will not be balanced. Your head will just be like that. So try and keep your ears aligned with your shoulders. And just notice your breathing, the breath, the air flowing in and out of the nostrils. Be aware of any sounds in your environment. Just allow those sounds to be there. Just try not to follow them with the mind. And be aware of what thoughts might be arising. Maybe you can, rather than a New Year's promise, can think of a motivation that might carry you through the new year, through 2024. And maybe there is one word in your mind that you would like to have reflected 2024 when you come to this time next year. Maybe all of us will be alive. Maybe some of us won't be here with us. Could be me even. Could be anyone. So think of how you would like to live your life. And I really like that. I read somewhere, I think I might have shared with you, I can't remember, but someone said that the way you spent your last hour is the way you live your life. So this life we have is short, comparatively short. So let's just try and do the best we can with the situations that we have been given. So again, notice the mind, what's arising in the mind. Try not to judge. Try not to follow stories. Just try and keep the mind steady. Observe what's going on there without criticism. Just observation, objectivity. And then bring to mind all the people of our life, all our loved ones, the ones we don't like so much, and our strangers. And boy, do they change place, these people in our lives. And then remember, they're all equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering and having this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So again, our dear Hin is going through her 49 days. It's possible that she has already moved on. But we just dedicate this practice for her. You can even imagine her here with us, she used to turn up in her little square, her little video in her little square. So perhaps just to bring her in your mind to our meditation. And think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind so we can equally change it by creating positivity instead. So we start with the power of regret. Sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives. And you can think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. Excuse me. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has the methods that we can use to purify. And so we're not looking for a savior, a higher power. We're looking to Vajrasattva to give us his medicine. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, and has a beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. And we have this little section on compassion. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, the very beings we've harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you and have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to create suffering for them sometime down the track in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. So then we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar like coming out of a hose quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely, and it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kama sita me, sitam shriam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawatata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe, ambhadrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita, dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anorakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Humpe Ambhadrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum. So now we come to the purification of our speech. Oh, but before we do that, just be delighted that all the harm you've ever done with your body is completely purified, and think there's no way you could benefit others now with your body. And next is our speech. Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar again from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativities of the speech, and this kind of overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So all the gossip and the arguing and the harsh speech, useless speech, anger, talking about other people behind their backs, angry speech, all of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling us. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita dida meboa sutokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsasawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Humpe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam kuruhum ha 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 ho bhagawan, sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sattva a humpe, vajrasapa samaya manupalaya vajrasapa dina patita, dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anurakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Te. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And the next is a purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful nectar, light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around, enters your crown, and just fills your entire being. It just kind of blasting, blinding light. So it dispels the light, the darkness of the negativity of the mind, much in the same way that light dispels darkness in a room. So you just imagine all the attachment and neediness and anger and depression, bitterness, resentment, jealousy, grudges, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Mibawa Sitokaya Mibawa Sipokaya Mibawa Anarakta Mibawa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe, and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasattva Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anarakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified, and think now there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And so next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And imagine Vajrasattva sending light and nectar. It fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of this negative energy. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuruhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hompe and Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shiam Kuruhum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Humpe, and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya, Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Miboa, Sutokaya Miboa, Sipokaya Miboa, Anarakta Miboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kamasita Me, Sitam Shriyam Karuhum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ah Hum Pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And then think of the power of resolve. So this is the final step, the very crucial step, starting with rejoicing in your efforts. And then we just make a determination that we want to refrain from harming. So we can think of something simple that we'd like to work on. And how that working on that something, refraining from that something, how it might impact our lives and the other people in our life around us. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with our mind, melts into light, white light, and absorbs into you through your crown. And you can think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche used to recommend to meditate on the emptiness of the, just emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creative negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created by doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then a strong wish for His Holiness Dalai Lama to live long and to be able to continue to teach. And then for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation. And then dedicate for the long lives of all of your own teachers. All right, everybody. Much love to you. Sweet dreams. I'll see you tomorrow. And I hope we're all in the same room and that Michael doesn't have to come and rescue us all from cyberspace. Okay. Thanks a lot, everybody. Good night.